All right, so get ready, because today we're diving into one of those topics that just makes you question, well, everything. Or maybe just makes you laugh. We're talking crop circles.
Yeah, those mysterious patterns that just kind of pop up in fields overnight.
Exactly. They inspire, like, everything from those breathless documentaries to some really wild theories.
Right, totally. I mean, what always gets me is the sheer range of explanations.
Oh, yeah.
Like you've got everything from, elaborate hoaxes all the way to extraterrestrial messages.
Right.
And even some people who blame it on, get this, the wind.
The winds.
It's like, come on,
The
really.
human imagination seriously knows no bounds.
It's no bounds whatsoever.
And that's kind of what we're going to have some fun with today.
All right.
Think of this deep dive as like a playful exploration of all those out there aspects of crop circle lore. We'll unpack some of the classic theories, we'll dig into the so-called evidence, and maybe, just maybe, we'll uncover some laughs along the way.
Sounds good to me.
We're going full-on skeptical yet entertained mode here.
Love it. So, to kind of set the stage,
Okay.
let's go back a few centuries, like way back to 1678 to be exact.
Ooh, okay.
There's this woodcut that appears in England. It's called the Devil's Reaper.
Ooh, spooky.
It depicts, well, a devilish figure making swirling patterns in a field. Now, whether this is like an early crop circle sighting or just some artistic license, it definitely sets the mood for the kind of speculation that's followed this whole phenomenon ever since.
A demonic entity creating crop circles. Talk about a strong opening act. But hey, it was a different time back then.
That's for sure.
Skip ahead to 1966, and we've got like a slightly more modern twist.
Okay.
An Australian farmer encounters a glowing orb. It's hovering over a field, and, wouldn't you know it, a circular imprint is left behind after the orb disappears.
Glowing orbs, huh? Sounds like we're headed into sci-fi B-movie territory now.
Right. It's almost too perfect.
W.
And this kind of kicks off what we could call like the golden age of crop circles. Starting in the 1970s, these intricate designs, they start popping up all over England with like increasing frequency, and the designs get more and more complex.
And that's when the theories really start flying.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's break down the main camps here.
Right.
First, we've got the hoaxers, the folks who say it's all just elaborate pranks.
Right.
Then there's the alien enthusiasts claiming these are messages from extraterrestrial civilizations.
Of course.
And finally, there are those who attribute it to natural phenomena. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a hard time believing the wind can create those perfectly symmetrical geometric patterns in a wheat field.
Yeah, the natural phenomena explanation definitely requires a generous dose of imagination, to say the least.
Yeah, a little bit. But you know what's fascinating? It's how each camp presents its own, like, brand of evidence. Some more convincing than others.
Oh, absolutely. Some are much more convincing than others.
Let's talk about the hoax theory for a second, because it has its own little saga attached.
Oh, it does.
Enter Doug and Dave,
Doug and Dave.
two British men who in 1991 claimed responsibility for creating, get this, hundreds of crop circles since the 1970s. Their tools? Planks, rope, and apparently a lot of free time.
Their confession became a media sensation.
It did, didn't it?
And for a while, it seemed like the mystery was solved. Case closed, right?
Right.
Except, if you look a little closer, their story starts to unravel faster than a poorly made crop circle.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
We're talking about two, shall we say, mature gentlemen
Me here, okay.
creating these massive, often incredibly detailed design in fields all over the world overnight. Logistically speaking, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate retirement hobby.
Right.
Taken to, like, an absurd level.
Totally.
Unless, of course, Doug and Dave had secretly mastered teleportation.
That's right.
Or had, like, a global team of highly skilled and incredibly silent accomplices. The more you think about it, the more their story sounds like, well, a story.
And yet, despite the, widespread skepticism
Right.
and the obvious holes in their narrative, their confession had a lasting impact.
It did.
It's like a crop circle-themed Mandela effect.
Okay.
Even though most people recognize that their story is, let's be generous and say unlikely, the idea that all crop circles are hoaxes kind of took root.
It did, yeah.
It became this easy explanation.
Right.
A way to dismiss the whole phenomenon without actually having to, grapple with the more mind-bending possibilities.
Right, exactly. So we've got this debunked hoax that continues to cast a long shadow, right?
It does.
Where do we go from here?
Right.
Well, if we're going to entertain the idea that some crop circles might be like the real deal,
Right.
we have to ask, Is there any scientific evidence to back it up?
That's where things get really interesting. Researchers, determined to put that hoax theory to the test, tried to actually recreate crop circles,
Oh, wow.
but in controlled conditions. They wanted to see if they could replicate those intricate patterns, the flattened stalks, the whole shebang. And guess what?
Right.
It turned out to be a lot harder than it looks. Sure, they could make some, passable designs in broad daylight.
Right, right.
But capturing the complexity and the scale of genuine crop circles, especially under the cover of darkness, well, that proved incredibly challenging.
So replicating crop circles isn't as easy as just grabbing some rope and a plank and heading out to the nearest cornfield. I'm shocked, truly. But seriously, if even scientists are struggling to fake it convincingly, doesn't that lend some credibility to the idea that something else might be going on?
It does raise some intriguing questions, but here's the real kicker. When researchers actually compared genuine crop circles to the ones they manufactured, they discovered a key difference.
Hmm.
And it's not just about the design itself.
Okay.
In real crop circles, the plants are bent, almost gently, close to the ground. They show these elongated nodes and these tiny holes in the stems, but there's no breakage, no snap-in, no real damage. Fabricated circles, on the other hand, well, they look like what they are. Plants that have been forcefully flattened, often with broken stems and scattered debris.
So it's not just about, like, the artistic merit.
Right.
There's something fundamentally different about how the plants themselves are affected.
Exactly.
That's a pretty big clue that something more than just human trickery might be at play, right?
It's a clue that's led some researchers to speculate that there might be forces at work that we don't fully understand yet. Some suggest that electromagnetic forces could be involved, perhaps even some kind of energy that we haven't even discovered yet.
Electromagnetic forces.
Yay.
Undiscovered energy. Okay, now we're venturing into some seriously intriguing territory. This is where the playful skepticism starts to get a little bit... Yeah, well, maybe we should keep an open mind here. But if we entertain the idea that these aren't just elaborate pranks or Mother Nature's artistic flourishes,
Right.
the next big question is why? What's the purpose of these elaborate designs appearing in fields all over the world?
That's a question that has sparked endless debate and speculation. And it's where the alien enthusiasts really come into their own.
Let me guess. They think it's aliens trying to communicate with us.
You got it.
Giant, intricate messages in wheat and barley.
Really?
Talk about going old school.
Precisely. They see these crop circles as, like, cosmic postcards.
Okay.
Attempts at contact from advanced civilizations trying to reach out across the vastness of space.
I appreciate the sentiment, but if that's the case, their communication skills could use some work. I mean, I struggle to understand, like, my neighbor's cryptic text messages, let alone deciphering a giant geometric design in a cornfield.
Right. It's like trying to solve a Sudoku puzzle in a language you don't understand.
Yeah.
But here's an interesting wrinkle. Crop circles have been reported for centuries, long before we had airplanes or even the idea of extraterrestrial life was really on the table. So if they're meant to be seen from above, who were they intended for?
Maybe it's like an intergalactic game of Pictionary, or perhaps these aliens just have a really quirky sense of humor and enjoy watching us scramble for explanations.
Now you're thinking like a tree crop circle enthusiast. But even if we approach this with a, healthy dose of humor, there are a few cases that are harder to dismiss as like mere pranks or natural occurrences. Cases that seem to suggest something deliberate, intelligent, maybe even a little unsettling. And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Intriguing. I am definitely ready for round 2 of this whole crop circle extravaganza.
All right.
Let's do it. All right, so last time, we kind of left off with a tantalizing hint that some crop circles might be a little more than just elaborate pranks, or the wind getting creative.
Right.
Let's delve into some of those cases that really make you go, maybe there is something to this whole alien thing after all.
Okay. Yeah.
One that always stands out is the Chilbolton crop circle, which appeared in August 2011, near, fittingly enough, the Chilbolton Observatory in England. What makes this one so interesting is that it seems to be a direct response to a message humans sent into space back in 1974. The Arecibo message.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hold up, were we talking about, like, alien pen pals here? We send a message into the cosmos, and they reply with a crop circle? That's either incredibly cool or incredibly cheesy.
Well, let's look at the details.
Yeah.
The Arecibo message was this, ambitious project designed by a team of scientists, including Carl Sagan.
Oh, wow.
It was basically a cosmic, hello, we exist message
Okay.
beamed towards a distant star cluster. It contained information about Earth, humanity, our DNA, the solar system, the basics.
Okay, so this Chilbolton crop circle was like a mirror image of the Arecibo message, kind of like an interstellar, we get your message.
Not quite, and that's where things get even more intriguing. While the basic layout of the crop circle did mirror the Arecibo message, there were some key differences.
Oh.
The crop circle depicted a different solar system, a more complex DNA structure, and instead of a human figure, it showed, well, a gray alien.
A gray alien.
The big eye, small mouth, kind of the classic alien look.
Okay, now that's just showing off. It's like they received our cosmic greeting card and said, nice try, rookies, but check out our solar system and our superior DNA.
Right. It's almost like an intergalactic game of one-upmanship. Oh, you can send radio waves into space. Well, we can bend wheat into complex patterns overnight.
Okay, I have to admit, if I were an alien trying to get humanity's attention, a crop circle would definitely be a more eye-catching approach than just sending a radio signal. It's like the difference between a text message and skywriting.
Exactly. And it plays into our fascination with the visual, the tangible. A radio signal, even one carrying a message from another world, is like invisible, abstract. But a crop circle, that's something you can see, photograph, even walk through. It has an undeniable impact.
So this Chilbolton crop circle, alien one-upmanship or not, does lend some credence to the idea that maybe, just maybe, someone out there is paying attention.
It does.
But it gets even weirder. Tell me about this 2012 crop circle with the binary code.
Ah, yes. This one appeared a year after the Chilbolton formation, and it depicted a gray alien holding a circular disc with binary code on it.
Wait, binary code? Like ones and zeros, the language of computers, are they sending us like a software update?
Well, when researchers decoded the message, it turned out to be a bit more ominous than that.
Oh.
The message read, "Beware the bearers of false gifts and broken promises, much pain, but still time," damaged word. "There is good out there. We oppose deception. Conduit closing." Bell sound.
Okay, that's straight out of the sci-fi movie script. A warning from aliens about false gifts and broken promises. Who are these messages for, and what should we be wary of? Is this like an interstellar public service announcement?
Those are excellent questions, and unfortunately we don't have any definitive answers.
Right.
But what's fascinating here is that these crop circles, whether they're hoaxes or genuine extraterrestrial messages, they tap into our deepest anxieties and hopes about the unknown.
Right.
They make us question our place in the universe, the possibility of other intelligent life, and the nature of reality itself.
It's like these crop circles, regardless of their origin, are holding up a mirror to our own fears and desires. Right?
Yeah.
We project our own narratives onto them, whether it's paranoia about government conspiracies, hope for like benevolent alien contact,
Yeah.
or maybe just a fascination with the unexplainable.
Exactly. They become like this blank canvas onto which we paint our own interpretations, fueled by our own biases and beliefs.
So after going down this rabbit hole of crop circles, alien messages, and possible government cover-ups, where does that leave us? Are we any closer to solving the mystery?
Perhaps not.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not the point. Maybe the real value of this whole deep dive lies in the questions it raises, the sense of wonder and possibility it evokes.
I'm starting to see the appeal of embracing the mystery. You know, the unknown. It's certainly more entertaining than accepting the explanation that two mischievous old men are responsible for all of this.
Indeed. And if we embrace that playful skepticism, that willingness to entertain the absurd, it opens up a whole new way of looking at the world.
Okay, so we've got these scientific anomalies and these cryptic messages that seem like something out of a sci-fi movie. But what about the people who claim to have actually witnessed these crop circles forming? What are they saying?
That's where things get really interesting. You see, there are over 70 documented accounts from individuals who claim to have seen crop circles appear in real time. And what's fascinating is that these accounts, despite coming from different people in different locations, share some, like, striking similarities.
Striking similarities, yeah. It's like they're all reading from the same script.
A script written by Rod Serling, perhaps. Okay, lay it on me. What are these eyewitnesses reporting?
Well, a recurring theme is the appearance of these glowing orbs or balls of light just before a crop circle forms. It's like that Australian farmer back in '66. You know, he was onto something with that glowing orb sighting.
Yeah.
Maybe these orbs aren't just, random UFO sightings, but the actual artists behind these intricate designs. Okay, I'm picturing these orbs, like cosmic graffiti artists, zipping around the countryside, leaving their mark on unsuspecting wheat fields. But it's not just a light show, right? There's got to be more to these eyewitness accounts.
Oh, there's much more. Many witnesses describe hearing a distinct humming or buzzing sound, almost like an electrical current, you know,
Yeah.
right before a crop circle materializes. And then there's this crackling noise, like a static electricity that seems to accompany the actual formation of the circle.
So it's not just a visual spectacle, there's a whole auditory component to it as well. It's like the crop circle is announcing its arrival with a symphony of weirdness. But it's not like someone's out there with like a giant speaker system and a laser pointer, right? How are they creating those sounds?
That's a good question, and one that only adds to the mystery. But here's the real mind blower. These crop circles, they don't appear gradually, like someone's carefully crafted a design over hours or even minutes. Witnesses describe them forming in seconds, as if like an invisible force is rapidly shaping the plants into these complex patterns.
Imagine standing in a field, hearing this buzzing and crackling, and then suddenly, bam! A giant crop circle appears right before your eyes. Talk about a mind-bending experience. It would be both awe-inspiring and utterly terrifying.
Absolutely. It challenges our understanding of, time, space, and the very nature of reality. And there's actually some footage from 1991 that seems to support these eyewitness accounts. A photographer was filming a crop circle when he noticed a small, bright light in the sky. This light moved towards a nearby field, disappeared behind a truck for a moment, and when it reappeared, a brand new crop circle had formed.
Wait, hold on. We have, like, video evidence of this happening. A glowing orb, a new crop circle appearing out of thin air. That's either the smoking gun for the alien theory or the most elaborate hoax ever conceived.
It's definitely fuel for the imagination, isn't it? But even with these eyewitness accounts, the video footage, the scientific anomalies, we're still left with the same fundamental questions. Yeah. How are these crop circles being created, and why?
It's like we've assembled all the pieces of the puzzle, but we're still missing the box top. That shows us the complete picture. And that's where I think we have to embrace the inherent ambiguity of this whole phenomenon. Maybe the point isn't to find a definitive answer, but to revel in the mystery,
Yeah.
to acknowledge that there are things in this universe that we may never fully understand.
I think there's a certain beauty in that, don't you? The acceptance that there are forces at play, wonders to behold, that defy our attempts at explanation. It reminds us that we don't have all the answers, and
Yeah.
maybe that's okay.
Maybe it's even a good thing. Keeps us curious, keeps us questioning, keeps us open to the possibility that there's more to reality than meets the eye.
Exactly. The mystery of crop circles challenges us to think outside the box, to expand our perceptions and to embrace the unknown. And who knows, maybe one day we'll stumble upon that missing piece of the puzzle.
Or maybe we'll find an entirely new puzzle box altogether. Well, folks, we've journeyed through the fields of speculation, the forests of scientific analysis, and the misty valleys of eyewitness accounts. Where we go from here is up to you. Keep your eyes on the skies, keep those critical thinking caps on, and never be afraid to embrace a little bit of mystery.
And remember, if you see a glowing orb hovering over a field, maybe just steer clear. You never know what kind of art project it might be working on.
This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us on this wild exploration of the crop circle phenomenon. Until next time, stay curious.